big day. I'm hitting the trail tomorrow. I'm really nervous. I'm a lot more nervous for this one than I was for the John Muir Trail. Of course, I'm going 3 times as long, and yeah, and I'm oriented to this differently. Before, I was living in the rat race, and I was really looking forward to going and spending a month alone, and now I already spend so much time alone. I'm a little nervous. I'm also really, really excited. I've been doing so much to get prepared for this trip. I finished my resupplies a few days ago. I'm going to mail my first 3 boxes to my first 3 resupply points today. I am also getting my rig ready to store for 3 months, and so I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about what it takes to get my rig ready to sit in storage for 3 months. And when I say sit in storage, it's going to be sitting on a friend's property outside. It's not going to be covered. It's going to be sitting in the shade. In fact, I'm going to be getting some work done on it. I'm going to get the roof sealed and all the seams sealed, and the leaks that I have, the one in the bathroom is really the only one I really have looked at. And yeah, so get that done while I'm on the trail. And yeah, just thought you might be interested in seeing what it takes to get my RV ready to just sit for 3 months and not be lived in. So we're going to do that today. First stop is the dump station. I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and dump it and then fill it up halfway with water and cleaner. I'll put some Dawn dishwashing liquid in it and some water softener and drive around and run the rest of my errands and then dump it again. And then when I get back to my friend's house, I think I'll fill it a little bit and put more detergent in it so that it's got detergent sitting in it while it sits. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, first stop, dump station. Let's get started. Yeah, one more day.
Nobody gonna do it for you. You got to find your own.
Okay, the first dump is done, and I just dumped a bunch of the water softener in, and this was a full bottle, so almost half a bottle of Dawn, a couple of these. I also threw one of these in the kitchen sink along with some Dawn. Now I'm going to drive around town and run some errands. Let all this slosh around, hopefully clean out both my gray and my black tank a little bit. My black tank has been smelling pretty bad. It's been a long time since I've done a flush like this. You know, I always put detergents in it, so hopefully this will help it even now and keep it clean a little bit while it sits. Clean it out a little bit now, put it up with water and detergent so it'll be clean. Maybe get deodorized while it sits. So right now I'm just running all the water out. I think I'm out of water now. Just running all the faucets. I'm gonna go run some errands and come back and dump again in a minute. Get these all cleaned out, ready to store. Okay, so I just did the second dump on the black tank, and a lot came out, and it's really sudsy. And I've been driving around town all day with my windows rolled down, so just filling it up, and there was a lot of water in there. I don't know, maybe 10 gallons with all the soap and everything. It really did eliminate the odor. Of course, there was nothing else in it at all, just clean, cleanish water sloshing around the inside of the tank, cleaning it out. But I'm never able to drive around with my windows down because it creates a vacuum and sucks up the air through the toilet and brings toilet smell all through the rig. So now I have fresh scent all through the rig, and it's quite nice. What I'm going to do now is go back to my friend's where I'm going to be parking the rig, and I'm going to fill up the black tank probably about halfway full, and I'm going to do the same thing, all the detergents. I'm going to do Dawn, I'm going to do water softener, and I'm going to do a couple of the tank cleaners that I normally do. I'm going to do the same thing in the gray tank. So I'm going to let them sit there for 3 months with the detergent in it. And I also don't want it to sit there dry, because when it sits there, everything that's inside the tank is just going to dry up on the walls, and when I do fill it back up, it could be really, really hard to get off the walls. So it seems to make sense to put some water in it with some detergent, let it sit, and just kind of work all of that stuff on the walls off the walls, so that when I dump it when I get back, all that ickiness will flush out. That's the plan. I'm gonna leave my freshwater tank empty though. Part of the reason is I'm actually getting my water pump replaced while I'm gone. Of course, you know, he can turn off the water while he replaces the pump. But I did some research on what to do to prepare your rig, and while the gray tank and the black tank I think shouldn't be left dry, I don't know that I want fresh water sitting in my fresh water tank where it could collect bacteria and algae. You know, like a swimming pool is kind of what I'm thinking, just collecting stuff. So I'm thinking if I can empty it out and let it dry out, I think that would be a good thing for the fresh water tank. And then when I get back, I will disinfect it with a little bit of bleach, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll disinfect it and flush my whole system when I get back and just kind of start fresh. That's where I'm at today. That's where I'm at right now this afternoon. It's about 1:30 for preparing my rig for taking off for 3 months, and a couple other things that I'm going to do once it's parked, and I'll show you when we get there. So now that I'm parked back at my friend's house and I have the black and the gray tank half full and nice amounts of all kinds of detergent in there to hopefully kind of keep it clean and fresh while I'm on the trail, the next thing I'm going to do while it's parked is I'm going to open up the hood, because I don't want any rodents making home in my rig, especially the engine parts while I'm gone. So not only am I going to keep the hood open, but I've heard that dryer sheets keep rodents away. So I don't know, I thought, why not try it? And some people also put a light down there because basically they try to make their home in something dark and safe. And so by opening the hood, we're shedding light in there, and then I imagine there's a ton of chemicals in this that rodents don't like, and maybe that's why they work. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. I'm just going to kind of stick some of these all over the place once it cools off and try to keep rodents from making themselves at home while I'm gone. Defrost my freezer, turn it off. This isn't bad. It's been 8 months, a little bit of ice in the back. So I'll put a towel down as it melts, but I'll probably just end up chopping it off. And a good opportunity to clean it out. And my freezer is all nice and defrosted and dry. It defrosted really fast yesterday. Within a couple hours, that sheet of ice on the back was gone, and the towel that I had set down here just got wet, and I have it hung out to dry. So I'm going to make sure I prop. My refrigerator doesn't have, there's supposed to be little things on the door that prop it open so it doesn't close all the way. I'll probably just put like a towel or something over the ledge so that the doors don't shut. The refrigerator, I'm not quite done with yet, but I'll empty out the refrigerator, I'll turn everything off, and I'll make sure the doors don't close so that mold doesn't grow in there while I'm gone. And so that's one of the last things I will do tomorrow morning, clean that out. Luckily, I'm at a friend's, so they have a freezer I can put everything in that I'm not going to use, which is nice. So that'll be there when I get back. Of course, I'm going to make sure all my fans are closed. I'm going to make sure all my windows are closed in case it rains. I don't want anything leaking in here, so I'll check all the windows, all the fans. Of course, I want to make sure not only, usually I just keep this set way down so it doesn't kick on, but I'm actually going to make sure this is off. So I'm turning my furnace off, although what I'm going to show you in a minute, it doesn't really matter, but just in case, making sure that's off. Making sure the fan doesn't blow. But to make sure nothing drains my battery while I'm not living in it, of course I have the solar, but I'm going to turn off the auxiliary, so I'm going to turn that off, and that shuts off everything in the rig. All the power is now completely shut off. Oh, I'm plugged in. I'm like, why isn't it working? But I'm plugged in right now. So if I turn that off, it cuts power to everything. It cuts power to the refrigerator. It cuts power to the water pump. It cuts power to my little walkie-talkies here. It cuts power to everything so that my battery doesn't get drained. And just as a precaution, because I am going to be parked in the shade, I do have the solar on the roof, I'm not going to disconnect my house battery. So I could completely disconnect the battery in the house, disconnect the solar and everything from the battery, but I'm not going to do that. I have a good controller. It's almost brand new. I'm going to be parked in the shade. If I wasn't going to be parked in the shade, if I was parking my rig in the desert or something and it was going to get tons of sun all day long, I might go ahead and disconnect the solar so that the battery is just completely disconnected from everything, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's not going to get a whole lot, and I'm plugged in right now. So that's the last thing I'm going to do tomorrow. Just make sure all the power, everything is disconnected from the battery, except that I am also going to disconnect the battery in the engine. Disconnect the engine battery, just because, you know, to make sure nothing's draining it and to make sure it just stays fresh while I'm gone. Since it is going to be getting a trickle of solar, I wanted to make sure my batteries stay healthy while I'm gone, so I topped them off with distilled water. And I know now that I've been living with the batteries for almost a year, yeah, 8 or 9 months, I really only need to top them off every 2 or 3 months. So especially that I'm not really going to be using them, it's just going to be getting a little bit of solar in them. I just went ahead and topped them off with distilled water just to make sure they are healthy. A trick of mine: get one of these squeeze bottles for distilled water, and your batteries have to take distilled water, but get one of these and it makes filling it up a lot easier than trying to do it out of the jug or even a funnel. I like just doing it out of this. Just top it off a little bit. All right, they should be good for 3 months. I see a little corrosion there, so I'm going to clean that off while I'm here. I really should take them off. And they will stay healthy while I'm on the trail. So I think that's it. I think I covered everything that I am doing to prepare my rig for not living in it for 3 months, turning everything off, putting about a half a tank of water in the black and the gray, draining the fresh water, and then I will sanitize the fresh water when I get back, opening the hood on the engine, disconnecting the battery on the engine, making sure everything is off and everything is closed, and I think that's about it. I'm ready to hit the trail. Tomorrow's the big day. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope that you're going to stick around and hike with me on the Pacific Crest Trail, because that starts tomorrow. And for you, that's probably about a couple weeks before you'll start seeing videos, but stay tuned. All right, thanks for hanging with me. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. I'll see you soon.